you guys doing? I'm actually really blessed to be here. I am from Louisiana. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm a Katrina survivor, so it's like crazy that I'm even hearing it. I wasn't in the hurricane. I dated a girl named Katrina. She was a terrible person. Let me tell you about her. Right? Crazy, terrible. Almost ruined my life, okay? Ooh, it was horrible. She busted through my window, put a hose through my window, turned the hose on, okay? Then flooded my whole apartment. So when my other friends in New Orleans, like Katrina's destroyed my home, destroyed my life. I was like, you too? You too. I thought I was the only one. She needs to be put down, is all I'm saying. I am from Louisiana. I'm from a part of Louisiana where people lean out of their Ford F-150 as I'm walking down the street and they're like, nagger! And I'm like, that is not how you say it. That's embarrassing. Someone needs to teach him racism. There's not a Y in that word. Oh, you're doing it wrong. I'm a little man. And like, this thing, I'm not the smallest person you've seen, but I'm just small enough that if I was yelling at my girlfriend in public, it wouldn't bother anybody. like usually when you see them, you're like, hey, calm down, is there a problem here, buddy? But for me, it's like, oh, he needs a nap. I know I'm not the only one that this is for, but like I have an incredibly white voice. Everyone tells me how white my voice is, and I didn't know how white it was until like really recently I came to terms with it. And this is how I know, guys. I phone interview very well. Guys, I crush phone interviews. I hurt feelings, okay? And my name is Josh Johnson, which is basically a resume template. So then I show up and they try not to act disappointed, but we all know what happened. I know you're feeling catfish right now. Let me start on Monday. If you're looking at me and you're like, this guy's been mugged, you'd be right. I'm very muggable. You need to know me. I don't know if other guys in the room do this. Help me out if you do. When you see a dude coming towards you that looks threatening, do you think in your head how you're gonna have to take him? Does that come across your mind? Because the way I can fight in my head is astounding. And the way I fight in real life, not so much. It's pretty terrible. So this dude was coming towards me. He looked threatening, was looking right at me, coming right at me. I thought in my head, oh, looks like we're going to Jason Bourne this. I'm going to jump up in the air, do 3 flips. I don't want to do 3, but we need to do what needs to be done. You know, bring my knee down his face, crack his skull, punch him in the face so he's incapacitated. That was my plan. This dude's plan was, I'm going to punch this guy in the face and take his wallet. So we met up. He had a much better plan than I did. His plan was on fire, execution, everything. Some of you guys don't know about me. If you punch me hard enough in the face, I pee. So we met up. He punched me in the face. I hit the ground, started peeing round Q. I don't disappoint, okay? Now he's trying to fit his huge muscular hand into my pocket to take my wallet, but his hand gets stuck because my pants fit. Go figure, I know. But now his hand is stuck in my pants, but he can see the pee stain getting bigger. And my pants are like, he's lifting me off the ground at this point. I weigh 125. Forget it! And he leaves. Guys, who needs karate? Am I right? I did get the cops called to my apartment. Last year I got the cops called to my apartment because my neighbor thought that I was beating my girlfriend. So I had to explain to the police, not only do I not have a girlfriend, but it's just me in here. Sounding crazy enough to be 2 people. And in my defense, I was losing a fight to a ceiling fan. Let me explain. We've been to the moon, and we use little pieces of glass to talk to other people on the other side of the world if we choose, but there's still no clear indication when to stop pulling the drawstring on a ceiling fan. Now I'm chilly. I was warm before, now I'm chilly. I like the ceiling fan stop because I'm chilly, okay? And it's just going. So the cops come, right? So the cops come, and they don't arrest me, but they feel real sorry for me. Because if you're yelling at an appliance, I'll kill you, you know why you're single, you know? Like, oh. I don't know. Like, have you guys ever had a day you knew it was gonna be bad? As soon as you woke up, you knew it was gonna be a bad day? Like, as soon as a minute. This happened to me a while ago. I got up, got dressed for work. I got my foot and my head outside, okay? Just my foot and my head, and a bird shit on my head. This thing. Never been shown by a bird before, didn't know I handled it, didn't know what to do next. The bird shit hit my head, slid down my forehead, the shit that went in between my fingers hit my shoes, so he got me good. That bird got me good. If this were a drive-by, I'd be dead. That's a head shot, a hand wound, foot shot, not going anywhere. And instead of using any sort of common sense at all, I just look up and the bird's not done, okay? So now, stick with me. When a bird poop is coming right towards your eye, it looks exactly like you should have majored in something better in college so you have a better job so you can afford the rent at places that covered in trees and vines, okay? Because now, if I had a quarter for every time I changed my major to something that was still stupid, I'd have the $2.25 it takes to take the bus with bird shit on you, which is what it did. Because bird shit in my eye and I had to go. I was late when I left, I can't turn around. And we were sitting on the bus with bird shit on you, everybody knows. No one on that bus was like, I may have sports fight with his friends. Things a whole lot. Everyone knew it was bird shit. A homeless dude moved a seat away from me. That's the sort of pariah I become in a split second. And then this girl sitting across from me, thick neck bitch, all right? Sitting across from me, giving me the black woman with blonde hair, Wendy's, judging me like I'm not on my way to work. That's where I'm headed, man. You don't know me. You don't know my life, okay? But then we get to her stop. She gets up, she walks out, and I see that this bitch has Dorito dust on the back of her neck. Who the fuck are you to judge me when you got Dorito dust on the back? This was an accident. That's a lifestyle choice, bitch. Right? Because that means that when you eat Doritos, you either put your head in the fucking bag, okay? Or you eat Doritos like such a savage, you actually break a sweat up to wipe it off or you get the chance to suck your fingers judging me. Since we're judging each other, your new name is Dirtfoot, bitch, all right? Got Dorito dust on the back of your neck like you somebody's uncle or something. You scratch and sniff hobo, bitch. That's what Josh Johnson. Have a great night.
I realized this year, when Black Friday came and went, I realized that I finally have a thing. Like the things that my mom and her friends and anyone older than me had when I was growing up. I finally have a thing that I can look at a kid and say, you have it so easy. Back in my day, on Black Friday, you used to get your shit rocked. We would duke it out in the aisles, fighting like savages for a toaster that you couldn't afford the rest of the year. All you have to do is go click, 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 and then the deals come to you. That's... Black Friday used to be an event. It was the closest that we've come as a country to the purge. You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, like, okay, you are a Best Buy. You are a Best Buy somewhere in America. You know that you got 100 people camped outside from the night before to get these TVs. You know 300 more people are coming to get these TVs. You know you only have 12 TVs. Why is there an inventory issue now? Jeremy, this is the recipe for a riot. This is the exact equation. 100 plus 300 minus 12 is bricks. How did you not plan better? And then you'll know, remember the footage. We'd see the footage from Black Friday all over the country. people just wailing. People punching old people in the face. We were watching our society crumble. And like, there was never like a police presence. The first year caught us all off guard, all right? I don't even remember what year it was, maybe like 2006, whatever. First year that Black Friday came and it was like, everyone started fighting and everybody charging through to get in and stuff like that. It took everybody by surprise. I get it. The next year, you should have prepared. One day a year where we would just go absolutely batshit. You never saw anybody get arrested. They're on the news. Do you know what I mean? Like their faces on the news fighting, like fighting for the toy, right? And then like trying to hold on to a toy and then getting their licks in between gripping and readjusting their grip on the toy. I wonder if now that it's so easy, now that Black Friday is just this formality where you just, click, get the deals sent right to your house. I wonder if anyone who engaged in the violence is embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like, because think about it, because you couldn't have known what the future was going to bring. But if you had just been a little bit more patient and let the technology catch up to the demand, you wouldn't have had to rock so many nanas. You know what I mean? And just telling that story makes me sound old because there are young people right now who will never understand what any of that was like, So now I'm sitting here, I'm talking to my grandkids, and I'm like, your nana got curb stomped for me to get a PS5 because she loved me, all right? Oh, it's absolutely insane. Black Friday used to be such an event. There was one year when I still lived in Louisiana that day after Thanksgiving, me and some friends just went to the Walmart to watch. Because we got there a little bit before they opened, and there was already a line, a couple tents. I was like, this is going to be good, all right? And then more people started showing up. We had no intention of going in, right? Just more people showing up. And I had locked in on this one guy that was like doing stretches. But he was doing the most inefficient stretches I've ever seen in my life. Because he was trying to do the hamstring stuff, but he was just popping it. He wasn't like holding it. He was like, I was like, he gonna get hurt. That's the one's gonna go down first, right? And then sure enough, they opened the door and he got stands going. He's ready to get in there. And they open the doors, everybody rushes in. I don't know what he tripped on. But this man went down immediately. And then in the distance in the parking lot, all we could see is just every time somebody stepped on him, one shoe would go up. Like he was out here floating top to bottom. You could tell every time he got stepped on. I was like, I hope he's all right. It's been a while since I've been here. It's been a little over a year since I've been in Arlington. And in that time, I've been through some things. There's no good way to tell an establishment that you're in, and this is all over the country. There's no good way to tell them that the bathroom is out of toilet paper. It don't matter if you speak to the manager or just someone on shift. There's no good way to say y'all are out of toilet paper that make you seem clean, all right? Because you just trying to help. But when you walk up and say y'all are out of toilet paper, when you make a definitive statement like that, you're saying some things without saying them. And you're making people wonder something. You're making people ask questions about you as a person, because then that means that either you didn't wipe or you finished the toilet paper. which somehow still makes you seem nasty. Like, now we all know that toilet paper is not this like infinite resource that just goes on in perpetuity for the end of time. We know that eventually the roll will end, but if you the type person that ends the roll, what are you doing with your life? That rolls end when you go to the bathroom. Because when you think about it from their perspective, everybody else went to the bathroom and everything was fine. But then when you went and you came out, all of a sudden we don't have any more toilet paper in the building. Sounds like a you problem, right? I'll be vulnerable for a second. I was at a Denny's. I was at Denny's with some friends, and I went to the bathroom. And you never want shit at a Denny's. That's never the plan. That's never something you're doing on purpose. You know what I mean? That's either an emergency or you're trying to make room. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to go to the bathroom, right? I thought I could go ahead, I could power through, but in the end I was like, there's no way I'm hitting a grand slam with what I already got going on, so I don't want to waste food. Let me go ahead and go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and then I went to the bathroom, right? And I'm sitting there, and then I went to reach for the, and I didn't feel it. It was just air. It was like just air where there's supposed to be toilet paper, and it's such a natural motion that you're not even looking when you reach. Because you know toilet paper is supposed to be there. Like, reaching for toilet paper that's not there is like... You know, like when you pray and your prayer don't get answered? And you're like, well, what is all this for? You know what I mean? Why do we have civilization? And so then I reach and I don't feel anything. And I'm not even thinking about it right away because I'm on my phone. So then I just reach a little higher. So I'm like reaching a little bit higher. I still don't feel anything. It's still nothing but air. And it's such an odd feeling when you go for something that you think is supposed to be there and then it's not. Like, you know, like when let's say you're on your phone or something, you're not really paying attention and you're walking up the steps and then you take that extra step, but then there's no extra step because you're at the top of the steps and then you go like... And you didn't trip. You did the opposite of trip. You're still upright, but you feel weird. You're like, oh, wow, that was odd, okay. That's how it feels, because I'm sitting there and I'm reaching, and then finally I reach up and I feel raw roll. Like I feel the cardboard of the roll. So then, and I don't know why I did this, but like I even flipped it. Just in case something would fall. So I flipped it and I even heard the like, duh, 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 duh. Like it was truly nothing. This was a raw roll now. There's nothing on it. It's bone dry, right? And I don't even know why I did that because it was instinctual though. I was like, there's gotta be something here. Life isn't this unfair. You know what I mean? And so I did and you know, like when you walk into a room and you go to flick the light switch on and the lights don't come on. Now you know that if the lights don't come on, that the bulb is blown, but you will still sometimes turn it off and turn it on one more time just to be like, maybe I didn't give the light a chance. You know what I mean? Like maybe, let me go ahead, flick it off, flick it on, because that was my fault. I ran in here too quick. The light didn't even know I was going in this room. Let me give the light a chance to act right, you know what I mean? And then flick it on, flick it off. And then when it doesn't come on the second time, you're like, oh, the bulb is blown. But sometimes you just do it to be like... So I'm sitting there and now I'm panicking. Because what am I gonna do? What do we do now? Because the last thing I'm gonna do is stand up. Put my pants on, walk out there, and walk up to someone and say, y'all out of toilet paper. That would be insane. But I also can't live here. And so I'm sitting there panicking, truly panicking. And I know I'm panicking because I'm sweating. And I know I'm sweating because it's all over me. And I know it's all over me because I don't have anything to wipe it with. Sitting there, what am I gonna do and everything? And then I see the door opens, right? And this Denny's had one of those like 2-bathroom, like stall, 2 urinal, 2 sink setups, right? And so somebody walks in, and when they walk in, I'm looking under the stall door a little bit. I see black shoes. And I'm like, okay, that's some hope. And then I look through the crack, and they're washing their hands, and I see a red shirt. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a uniform. That's an employee. I'm saved. But now I got to get his attention in the least upsetting way possible. Because you don't want to just be a disembodied voice in the bathroom going, y'all out of toilet paper. So then I'm in my mind at the time, in the moment, the only thing I could think to say was, help. Which as soon as I said it, I was like, that's not. Because now he don't know what type of help. Like, am I stuck? It's like, does he need an ambulance? Is this doctor help? And so I said, help, and he said, what? And I said, y'all out of toilet paper. And he was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, give me a second. I'll get you. Finishes washing his hands, walks out of the bathroom, and maybe forgot me. He never came back. That man never came back, right? So now I'm sitting in here, and I'm devastated, right? Because every second that goes by, I'm like, he gonna be back here any minute. Yeah. So I'm not even worried for the first whatever minute. And I know you're thinking to yourself, Josh, why is this story so long? Why didn't you just text one of your friends at the table to tell someone, hey, y'all out of toilet paper? I forgot to mention earlier, my phone been dead, all right? My phone died when I was doing this. And so then I'm sitting there waiting. I don't even know how long. And then another person comes in, right? Once again, I see black shoes. Oh, look through the crack, red uniform. Oh, doesn't even seem like the person before. They're washing their hands, right? Doesn't even seem like the person before. And I didn't yell help this time. I had learned my lesson. So I was just like, excuse me, I know this is weird. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But y'all are out of toilet paper, and I've been in here quite a while. Because I didn't want to seem indignant. This is not this person's fault. But still, I've been in here for a long time now. Like, this person didn't come back for help or anything. This is very upsetting. Y'all got that A rating outside. I can turn to a C real quick, okay? I just want to let him know I'm in dire straits out here. And, he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then he went, and left, and then immediately came back. And this is how I can tell you he was a hero, right? Because on the other side of the stall, I can hear him picking at the roll, trying to get, because like when you start a new roll, how those first sheets glued. They like, it's insane. Why do you have to waste 9 sheets just to get the roll started? We've been to the moon, and we still have to rip up and throw away a bunch of sheets just to get the first sheet that's usable, right? But then he ripping it up for me. I was like, this man's a saint, you know what I mean? And then we didn't know how he was going to get it to me, because he can't just like lob it to me like that, because this is heavy. This is industrial sized toilet paper. He will knock me out if this lands on my head. And so my man, I don't know. It was weird between us just because we're dudes. Like, if this was a woman in this situation, all she would have to do is be like, girl, they're out of toilet paper. Be like, girl, I got you. And then, you know what I mean? But as men, we don't have a relationship like that. Like, if there's any chance you about to see dick, y'all better been to war together. I'm not just seeing random penis. Even if you are my friend, we not that close. Like, no. Right? I'm not doing anything where I have a chance of seeing your... No, I don't want anything. So then, my man, like the hero he was, he bowled it to me. Under the star, I could see the trail coming, and it was Hope. And I was like, yes. And then I grabbed it, and I picked it up. I was like, bro, thank you so much. I'm so thankful. He's like, no, you good, dog. I was like, no, you don't understand. I was in here forever, right? Like, I was out here trying, dog. Like, thank you so much for saving me. You saved me, right? And he's like, no, it's really okay. I was like, no, I just want you to understand how appreciative I am. And he was like, bro, are you still are you wiping? Like, are you still talking to me? And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I've just really been here a long time. And it's like, I don't even know how long because my phone died and everything. And I don't even think he heard that part because when I opened the door, he wasn't there. But yeah, I've been through a lot.
Have y'all been keeping up with this Jonah Hill thing? Yeah, okay. So real quick, if you don't know what it is, Jonah Hill's ex put out a bunch of his text messages to her while they were dating, and she was a surfer, she still is, and then they were dating while she was surfing, and it's him being like, why you gotta surf around men, and she's like a surfer and a surf instructor. It's like, why you gotta surf with men, and why you gotta post pictures of yourself surfing in a bikini and all that. So it was all this shit like that, right? And it just, you can see a decline in the text messages where he's clearly so worried about being cheated on, he's not making sense. He's like, why you gotta surf with dude? Because then if you're surfing and then he's surfing, what if y'all start surfing on each other? You know what I mean? And then like y'all are surfing together, and what if you get surf in your mouth? And then now you were just covered in surf, and you come home and you're like, got surf on you. I was like, nigga, are you all right? Like... So there's been a lot of backlash about him being narcissistic and misogynistic and everything. And I think Jonah Hill committed a cardinal sin. He really did. Jonah Hill told a woman what to do while being an ugly motherfucker. Can't do that shit. You cannot do that shit. Like, look at the text and then look at his face. You cannot tell anybody what to do, sir. That's too much bass in your text right now for that hairline you got, you know? I'm not gonna lie, if John Hamm had sent those same texts, if John Hamm was like, I don't want you talking to any other men, you'd be like, okay, daddy. Like, yes. Did y'all see the Alabama brawl? Yo, who knew Wakanda was in Alabama? That was crazy. You know, that was wild. So many people came out of nowhere. That shit was like Black January 6th. That was like, that was crazy. If you didn't see the video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it really quick. Basically, there was this one guy. He was an employee of the place, right? And he was like asking these people to move their boat, you know? So it was a black employee, but he was asking these people who happened to be white that had the boat to move their boat, and they wouldn't move the boat. I don't even know if this part is true, but I heard that the riverfront boat that was waiting to dock had been waiting for like 40 minutes because these people refused to move, right? So finally, he just keeps going, like, you gotta move the boat, you gotta move the boat. They get out of their boat, they're cursing at him, and he's not backing down. He's like, you have to move the boat. I work here. You have to move the boat. And then they just keep cursing at him. Finally, they put hands on him, and then they start fighting him. And he did his best. He held his own for quite a while. So it's not like they beat his ass, but they were clearly ganging up on this dude, right? And, you know, a lot of people, as soon as they saw the video, they got upset. I got upset once. I thought it was going to bum me out just seeing like 5 white dudes ganging up on this like middle-aged black dude and everything. And some people were upset about the racial part immediately. But I'm not going to lie. I was distracted. I wasn't. I didn't hate these people because they were ganging up on them and they were white. I hated them because they had a boat. You know what I mean? This isn't just a race thing. These rich fucks with a boat. or trying to beat up a working class person is insane. You know, made me furious. And then they started fighting them, and then like other people came, and you know, a lot of black people already saw what was happening. So then when the Riverfront boat docked and other black people who saw what was happening, they all just swarmed. It looked like, like that one episode in Game of Thrones where, you know, they were losing, but then just more just came down the mountain. It was like, I was like, God damn, okay, wow. Send in the troops, apparently. I should back up. When the fight started, the initial fight where the dude was getting ganged up on, he just threw his hat. Just threw it, and that almost felt like a signal. That was, as a black person, I didn't know that was our call to arms. I didn't know this was like, oh, okay, all right, we go now. That was wild to begin with. Then it was crazy because then so many people swarmed in, it turned into a huge brawl. And I don't know if you saw a video, but there was one person that wanted to help when they saw him getting jumped so badly that this nigga swam. Jumped in the water. From the camera angle, we don't know where he came from. I'd like to think he came from Africa. I'd like to think he started swimming 6 weeks ago in preparation. Because look, if you know, the history of black people swimming, especially in the South, you know that we're not known for it. You know what I mean? And so I'm not gonna critique his swimming because I was just happy to see another black dude swim. That's just, every one of us swimming is a W, okay? But I do have to comment because he wasn't swimming normal. Did you see him swim? He wasn't swimming regular. This was not regular swimming, right? This man wasn't swimming to the fight. This man was punching the water till he got there. I knew he was gonna whoop ass when he got out of the water because he would. I've never seen someone punch water till they got to their location. That was so crazy. Go back and watch the video. This man punching with horsepower. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And then he gets out of the water, starts whooping ass, everybody whooping ass and everything. So you know that those white people, when it started fighting, then started more fighting, you know they were relieved when the cops got there, but they must have been conflicted because half the cops were black. Like that's a situation where even when the cops arrive, you're like, ooh, whose side are you on? Because I was kind of doing a thing before you got here. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's what's so wild. Because I think also, I've tried to put my mind I've tried to put myself in the mind of each person that was in the video in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because that's a terrifying thing. To get jumped is a terrifying thing. Then the person swimming. Then I'm just trying to think about every angle that I could think about it from. I'm not gonna lie. That must have been a huge surprise because you out here ganging up on this one dude with your buddies, and then before you know it, there's just like 50 black people. That's. Listen, I'm telling you right now, let's say y'all just blinked, and when you opened your eyes, there were 50 black people behind me. I'm not even saying you'd be scared, but you'd be surprised. You'd be like, wow, that was fast. That's all you'd say. You know? Because that's the thing. That's, I think, the strangest part, one of the weirdest parts, like when you start watching the video, let's say you start watching the video, you had no context, nobody told you what was gonna happen, you hadn't seen any of the memes yet. The craziest thing about what happens is that, especially as a black person, I think some people are curious why black people have been memeing the shit out of it and everything. It's because if you know the South and you know the history of 5 white guys ganging up on a black guy and how that usually goes, you know, especially when they have enough money for a boat. Usually doesn't turn out well, you know what I mean? And so this was a different thing. This is a different outcome than we've ever really seen before, you know? Because I'll be honest with you. Let's say we're in a different time and there's no camera phones and they were able to leave before the cops got there. They would have just beat up that dude and left. You know? And that's my thing where it's like, okay, yeah, whoop their ass, we all laugh, we all celebrate, whatever. But like, fuck up that boat. Like, fuck up the... What are you doing? Like, bust up the bow or something. Like, rip a rudder out, please. I do think that would hurt them more than the ass whooping. They just be standing there and looking like skippers. Not the boat! You know?
You know what's actually crazy? I thought about this weekend. You know what I've never done at all in my life? I had to really think about it. Never once in my life have I Googled Jada Pinkett Smith. So why do I know so much? Why do any of us know so much? Isn't that crazy? I've never even Googled Jada and Will. I've never sought any of this information. I know so much about them, it feels like we're related. It's devastating. I don't know if y'all saw the most recent interview. She's given her 1,000th. And in it, she says that she says so many things. First of all, she said that she sold crack when she lived in Baltimore, which is like believable. That's a very entry-level job in Baltimore. That part I was like, and? But then she also said her and Will been separated for like 7 years. Which what? She also said that Tupac is her soulmate. It's like she's going out of her way to hurt Will's feelings now. This is really insane. Tupac is your soulmate. You've been married for decades. My soulmate's a guy from the 90s. And the more I think about it, and the more I listen to Jada talk, the more that I'm convinced that Tupac died to get away from her. Like, I feel like... Easily. They dated for a while, you know what I mean? And then he got a taste of what Will has lived with. And then he was in Vegas and he got into it with some dudes on some gang shit and stuff like that. And they shot at him and he thought about what life would be like with Jada. And so he just leaned into the bullet. She said they haven't been together. Her and Will have not been together since 2016, which does make the slap more confusing now. That's right, because like that, they haven't lived together since 2016. Now it feels less like you were defending your wife and more like you just wanted to hit Chris Rock. Like, turn that man to a tambourine for no reason. That's insane. It really is. Like, what? Not even defending your wife at this point. You were defending your neighbor, I guess. Haven't lived together since 2016. It also makes the entanglement more confusing now. Watching Will and Jada is just like the Black Inception. You know what I mean? It's just a nightmare and a nightmare and a nightmare. There's twists that nobody asked for. What? Entanglement. Because then, this is my thing. If they weren't together, why'd they have that whole talk acting like they were together? It made them look worse. Why did they do that? It made her look like a cheater and him look like a cuck, but then they weren't together. So what's the big deal now? I mean, the big deal is that she fucked her son's friend, which is... A lot of people don't know that. That was Jaden's friend. So Jaden over there waiting for play dates and stuff. Ain't nobody showing up like it's a Brazzers video. It's so chaotic.
No, it's just very chaotic. And look, I want to be fair for a second. I do want to be fair. Everyone comes for Jada, and everybody shits on Jada so hard. And I get it. It's easy because she won't stop talking. But, like, some of this is on Will. We can all agree about some of this is genuinely on Will. People blame Jada for the slap. That's not her fault. That's a grown man. And he got up there, and he slapped another grown man. You can't blame her for that. It's not like she used her powers. And people blame a lot of the marriage stuff on just Jada. Will is also married to Jada. You know what I mean? He could get a divorce if he wants to, but he doesn't want to. He does not want, and if you pay attention to the interviews, he said it. Divorce is not an option. He'd rather them live as single people and still be married than to get a divorce. Which is weird. It is weird. I understand. For a long time, they were the symbol of black love, especially in Hollywood, right? And that's a symbol that he carefully curated that maybe she didn't want to be a part of, but it's one of the reasons he can't let it go, because it's a failure that he will not accept, right? But to just live as two single people but still be married is weird. It's very odd. Who is it for? It's not for them. They're not together. It's not for us, because now she aired it out. Everybody knows. It's not for the kids, because they're already weird. So who is this for? And like, I mean, it must be rough. I do get it. I have empathy for both of them genuinely, because I think Will, you know, came on strong, wants to make it work and everything, and Jada was just not having it. And a part of me, you know, I'm wrapping up, but just a part of me, a part of me gets it. Because if it's not the life that she wanted, it shouldn't be the life she accepted. That's fair. You're an adult in the world and you make your own decisions and you need to live by them, right? But also, to be fair to her, I don't have a gorgeous millionaire trying to fuck me and marry me. I don't know. It probably seems pretty hard to turn down. I'm not gonna lie. Like if Zendaya walked in here right now and y'all look like you're together, if she told you, bro, if she was like, I want to marry you and be with you for the rest of my life, you'd probably be like, look, I'm in a happy relationship and I found my happiness. I hope you find yours. I'm not saying it'd be easy to say to her. You probably say it after I do, but you know, I don't know if y'all saw, but Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty on all charges. If you don't know who Sam Bankman-Fried is, he's the dude who looked like somebody microwave Shia LaBeouf. He was behind a multi-billion-dollar crypto scandal, and you know, took a lot of people's money. Had a lot of powerful friends, so he could take a lot of people's money. He was found guilty, and you know, he made a serious mistake. He stole money from rich people. Well, when you think about it, it's really all he did wrong. If you steal from the poor, you're going to be pretty good off. Like, I don't know. This dude is going to go away for a long time, which is crazy because I don't really understand what he did. But I'm glad he didn't do it to me. I'm like, you ever just, because I never got into crypto because I didn't understand it, so you ever just be so dumb you miss a whole tragedy? You just, because I saw the whole thing coming. I was having FOMO and everything, and then everybody started losing their money. I was like, maybe it pays to not read sometimes. Maybe it's to my benefit that I have stayed as ignorant as possible on very specific subjects in life. I was having a conversation with a friend from back home, and so many things work in connection together to get me where I am. I saw this article about this guy. I think his name's, I might be mispronouncing it, but Brian Mwende, and he is in Kenya, and he was a lawyer. He was a fake lawyer. And he won 26 cases straight. 26 cases straight, one after the other.
WWWW. And then they finally caught him. And now he is awaiting trial, where I pray he represents himself. That's phenomenal. 26, you got fake, and apparently it's a whole thing. I didn't know this. In Kenya, this is a whole thing. There are a bunch of fake lawyers, because he was just the first one. There's a bunch of fake lawyers that just never actually passed the bar, but they've been practicing. I guess they got a storefront or something. Like, I don't know, you just walk in and you're like, you seem like a lawyer. You know, the only way I know any lawyer has been a lawyer that I've ever worked with was the paper on the wall behind their desk. If that's fake, I have a fake lawyer. That's my favorite story, though. My favorite thing that happened was Paris Fashion Week. If y'all aren't familiar, Paris has Fashion Week, and all these people high up in the fashion world, rich people, celebrities, they all descended on Paris for a week to see and be seen and stuff. And while they were there was an outbreak of bed bugs, which is hilarious. It couldn't be. You gathered all the richest people in the world together in one place and gave them bed bugs? Are we sure this wasn't an activist? You sure this wasn't Greta Thunberg trying new things? You know what I mean? Just her sitting there like, you take a jet, you pays the price. You know, could have been. We don't know. But it was amazing. They gave all those rich people bed bugs. It made me laugh so hard because it's Fashion Week, so half of them dress like bed bugs to begin with. So like, bed bugs probably thought it was mating season, you know what I mean? They were seeing them walk by like, okay, come through, thickness. I'm gonna take a bite of you later. But no, people from Fashion Week spoke to the press and the public. People from the local government spoke to the press and the public and everything. And mostly everyone was trying to maintain a sense of calm the entire time, right? We're very sorry that this is happening. This is not a reflection on our beautiful city. We're doing our best to move people. Just please stick with us, right? But there was one person that was my favorite. The deputy mayor also spoke to the public and the press. But when the deputy mayor came out, he was like, it's an outbreak. No one is safe. What kind of leader says no one is safe? We just came out of a global pandemic where no country's leader said no one is safe, even when no one was safe. That's crazy. Then the mayor, because the mayor came out, she was ready. She was like prim, proper. She made me feel reassured, and I wasn't even in Paris, right? And then she got this assistant-ass mayor behind her. No one is safe. She's probably like, get him out of here. It's crazy. No one is safe. Every leader I've ever had has tried to maintain a sense of calm in a crisis. I remember when I was in middle school, in English class. And English class was after lunch. And I had seen this kid at lunch, and he had a nasty-ass lunch. I don't know what it was, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, he gonna be sick. That is disgusting. And so then I sat as far away from him as I could, corner of the classroom. And then middle of class, sure enough, his stomach started bubbling. And we all hear it. He just over here taking notes like... looking at us like, y'all don't hear me, right? It's like, of course we hear you. His stomach is loud as hell. And then in the middle class, he jumps up and runs out. And on the way to running out, because he was very sick, he threw up on the back of like 7 kids' heads. And our teacher said, calm down. I know y'all just got thrown up on. Let me get some towels. It's gonna be fine. She didn't say, no one is safe. You see what I mean? I worked at an Italian restaurant that burned down, right? It burned down, and even as the head chef was trying to put the flames out on his back, no one yelled, no one is safe. We just tried to put this man out. Actually, one of my favorite things about when that happened was, okay, so the chef is on fire, right? Like, and then the line cook ran out to the dining hall where everybody else was, and then just yelled to the whole dining hall, we on fire, motherfuckers! Which is like as informative as it is unhelpful. Like, he's telling them the details, but not enough to get them moving. Also, we are not on fire, just he is on fire. Some of the building is on fire, but mostly as we, it's just him. He on fire by himself, right? And so no one knows what to do, because even if someone ran in now and was like, we on fire, fire, motherfuckers. You wouldn't immediately jump up and run. They looked at him and they were like, so is he on drugs or what's And it wasn't until the chef ran out behind him out the door with a couple flames still on his back that everybody cleared out. He yelled, we on fire, motherfuckers. He didn't yell, no one is safe. What would even possess you to put the words to get to the public, no one is safe? Like when I think about it, now that I think about it, I think that was that deputy mayor low-key admitting he had bed bugs. That's what it was. It had to be, no one is safe. That means I'm not safe. No one is safe. I wish there was video. There's no video of it happening. But you can tell that this is the case because anytime one of our leaders has to speak to us, they're calm because it's not their problem. That's what's happening. I grew up in Louisiana. Our whole state would get slammed by hurricanes, and the governor would come on TV and be like, we're gonna stick in this together, all right? We're all in this together. He's clearly in Massachusetts, by the way. We're all in this together, all right? Y'all just stick with me, we're gonna get through this. You know what I mean? I think that dude freaked out because it was his problem. It's hard to stay calm when you're in the middle of something, you know? I wish there was video. There's no video. I wish he would just come out, because you know he yelled it. You know, he was like, no one is safe. It's happening to everybody, including really cool people who don't deserve this. God damn, I wish there was a video just to see him be like, it's an outbreak, y'all. We doing our best, but this is bullshit.
I thought I had it all figured out, you know. I was sexting. And sexting's a very precarious situation. You want to make sure you're sexting at the right time, you know? Because if it's like 8 o'clock, you still got other people texting you, you know? You don't want to accidentally send a text that's incoming to somebody because you opened the thing, you know what I mean? And it's also like, what if you're not that skilled? Like, what if I'm not good texting with just my left hand? Now you texting typos and stuff. It's knocking the sexy right out of your sexting. You know, it's like, I'm gonna fud your bass. It's like, nobody's into it now. You know? So I had an idea. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I didn't talk to anybody about it. I had never heard anybody doing this, but in my mind, it was the best thing to do. I was like, I'm just gonna speak to text. So that way I don't gotta worry about the other hand and everything, and I can just like get in the zone and stuff. I don't have to worry about other people texting me and everything. And it went horribly wrong. Because I wasn't at home. I was at my childhood home. So I was in my room, but it wasn't my house, you know? And it was, 9 o'clock or so, and we were sexted. That look, I'll read you the thing right now. This is what. Okay. All right. So she's like, "Oh, okay. And what's good? What would you do if you were here right now?" And then I was like, "Girl, I would tear those clothes off." And Mom, what are you doing in here? Mom, I had the door closed. You can't just open the door. I was just coming to see if you wanted dinner. No, I'm okay. Mom, get out right now. Boy, how you gonna tell me to get out somewhere in my house? I'm sorry, Mom. Please, can you please leave and close the door? You know we don't have closed doors in this house. Which is true. That's a very like black family thing of like you not closing the door in my house. What you up to in there? I was like, Mama, please leave. Please, please leave. And she was like, all right, what's the big deal? I was like, nothing, Mom, just please get out of here. So anyway, girl, I would say... All right, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I think as guys, right? Like as men, I do think that we're like too confident in our ability. That's the end of the sentence. There's just like, as human dudes, there's no other species of male in anything. You could be a gazelle. A male, like gazelle. Do they make male gazelle? Anyway, you could be a male gazelle. There's no random day where you're gonna look at a lion and be like, he looked like he want to fight. Like, do you know what I mean? You know how every other male sees like an order to the world and functions in it? We're the only ones. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're the only ones. Maybe a female gazelle might fight a lion, and that's if the lion's already attacking her child. You know, she might step up, and even then, it's like 30%. So like, there's just an order to nature. I was hanging out with a friend. Turns to me, unprovoked. I had said nothing. And he goes, you think you could fight a bear? And I was like, what? No. It's the quickest no. No. It's a bear. You didn't ask me about a cub. In the scenario you given me, a bear wants to fight me. And I'm gonna fight the bear and win? Like, no. And I asked him, I was like, do you think you could fight a bear? And he was like, well, if I came at it right. I'm like, don't even finish the sentence. If I came at it right. What are you saying right now? If I came at it right. That's the great, according to experts, the only way to come at it is to pretend to already be dead. What do you mean if the bear came at you like a bear, you would die. I would bet money on it. That's crazy. And then he got irate with me. He got all defensive, started attacking me. He was like, so you would just let a bear kill you? I'm like, what are we talking about? What do you mean, let a bear? It's a bear. You picked a bear. You didn't even pick something I might have a chance against, like a stray cat. You went straight to bear. Do you think you could fight a bear? Oh, you just gonna let a bear kill you? Look, if I went home, if this is how confident I am a bear would kill me, I don't go where bears are. You don't catch me anywhere out in the world where the bears will be. In fact, if there was a bear when I went home in my apartment, that's a bear's apartment now. And I'm good with that. I'm willing to let that bear have my couch. That's fine. Everything in the fridge is his now. Crazy. Crazy talk. And look, I'm not acting like there isn't a place I could step up. When it comes to bugs, I could be braver. I will say that. When it comes to bugs, I could step up a little bit. Because if a bug is too big, I will take a step back. Just to try to assess what it is. Because sometimes, like, I don't have the best eyes, but sometimes you see like 9 legs or something, you're like, what is that? Before I step on it, what is this? Is it an alien? You know? I remember there was one day, I had a fly in my apartment, and it was the plague of my life. I didn't know how the fly got in my apartment, and it had the loudest wings It might as well have been bird wings. It was the loudest fly I've ever heard, and it would get like right next to my ear, which was making me flinch. Like it did kind of punk me in a little, because I had the fly swatter ready, and it would be in the ear that was like the flies. So that I would be looking for it, like, and I'd be like, oh. And it was all day. It was all day I was trying to kill it. All, like, top to bottom all day. And then it was so gross, because then I was like hitting myself with the fly swatter, because I was like, at some point, if I swing back, I might catch it. And then it was hitting my ear. So I was beating myself. And then I finally was like, let me just go take a shower, cool off, because I had to go somewhere that night. So I get in the shower, take a shower. I don't know when the fly came in the bathroom. I don't know if it came in through a vent or through the door with me, but then the fly came at me while I was in the shower. Now this is attempted murder, because I am on wet porcelain. I cannot mess around right now. If I fall in this shower and I die, and my killer is a fly, and I die like a bad Dr. Seuss. Anyway. I finished my shower, I swatting them off, everything still, and then I opened the curtain. It's right there. I'm exhausted. I'm naked, I'm wet. I grab my towel, and I like spin my towel, get it really tight, right? I don't even care if you believe me. It's one of the proudest days of my life. I spun my towel as hard as I could, and then I popped it at the fly, and right at the end, right at the tip, it popped the fly and killed it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. In that moment, I was like, I think I could fight a bear. Like, I do. I'm just saying, if I had a towel, I have a chance. Okay, look, when I say it, it's not gonna sound true. But believe me, all right? I really thought that when I saw Drake leaks trending, it was gonna be music. I was so sure that it was gonna be music. I was like, stuff leaks all the time. Let's listen to this album before it comes out. And I know a lot of people thought that. I'm not alone. A lot of other people said, they were like, you thought it'd be music too. I was like, yeah, I thought it'd be music. And in case you don't know who Drake is, I don't know how, but in case you don't know who Drake is, he's a rapper. And in case you don't know about the Drake leak, okay. So Drake leak was trending, and then I clicked it, and you just see a lot of Drake. It's a lot of Drake. It's a lot of Drake. It's more Drake than I thought there was Drake. You know what I mean? And I want to be clear about something, okay? Because I know it's weird, but a bad thing happened. Someone's nudes were leaked, and that should never happen. It should truly never happen. Everyone deserves autonomy for their body. I know he's like a rich man, so it's easier to like let it slide, and it's different. It feels different, at least, when it's like a woman's nudes. But still, he didn't want that out there, and it's out there, which is a shame. You know, so I felt very conflicted, because I was like, that's a shame that somebody would do that, you know? And then on the other hand, I was like, all right, but like, no more sad songs. Like, I don't... You know what I mean? Like, if I had a friend that was built like Drake, I would never let him cry to me. About anything. I'm not gonna lie. It would always be burned in my brain. I'd be like, hey, everybody daddy dies sometimes, okay? Cheer up and look down.
read this report that I read a report that they want to NASA's trying to make contact, with some intelligent life, and we really tried everything. We tried so many different things, and we haven't just spent billions of dollars. If you count every country that's had success leaving the atmosphere, going into space, we spent trillions of dollars as a people. It's an endeavor that's been as old as the ages to make contact and make sure, or at least find out that we're not alone in the entire universe, right? So they send out signals. They've used radio waves. They've used light, images, everything that they can think of. Every telescopic endeavor's been tried. And so now NASA, I'm not even kidding, you can look this up. NASA's like, we gon' send nudes. We're gonna send nudes out because that might do it. You know what I mean? It's that's a big deal. We have not tried that yet. We've been out here sending old 1920s radio wave. I don't know, my baby. We've tried all that stuff, and it didn't do anything. So let's send nudes and see. Wouldn't it be wild if it worked, though? Wouldn't it be crazy if, a month later, aliens landed and they were like, titties is all you had to say? I mean, if we had known that there were titties, that we would have come. It feels, you know what I mean? Just say you're out of ideas. Smartest minds in the world. Smartest ones on the planet. And they're like, maybe this feels weird. And I know what I said before, and I meant that. But since they're already out, maybe send the Drake, maybe, I don't know. And look, not out of context. Send a copy of Take Care. And send the Drake video and just see what the aliens think. They might come. They might be like... I also read a report that says that Viagra may lower the risk of Alzheimer's, which is kind of bad news when you think about it. Is that really what the world needs? Just a bunch of old men, hard and aware? I thought that as men, we had a pact with the earth. We would wreak havoc for the first 50 years of our lives, and then after a while, we'd slow down, we'd get confused, and we would not be hard anymore. That's how you restore balance to the planet. Imagine an evil dude. Because we do this all the time. Being old is supposed to be the saving grace of your life. Especially as a man. As a man, love is very conditional from the world, right? You're born a baby. We all love babies. You become a kid. A lot of people love kids. Then you're a man. And then everyone's like, it's your fault, right? Even if you don't have power, you look like the ones that do. And so it's I'll just lump you in, right? Then you get old, and then you getting old is the we can love you again. It's true. You get old, and then people are like, what's he gonna do? We've seen it. We've seen horrible, evil men get old, and somehow all is forgiven. We've watched literal war criminals turn 99, and it's like, well, he's not doing anything now. Like, he's a fucking war criminal. He don't remember, though. Why does that get him a pass? He doesn't remember. Now you just feed them Viagra so they can be evil longer. Literally. We have to stop this. This is crazy.
You seen him all over the Daily Show. You seen him on YouTube. I want y'all to put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together. Give it up for Josh Johnson.
My most recent obsession is this court case, this lawsuit against Cardi B. All right. If you're not familiar with Cardi B is a rapper, and she is also a national treasure. Cardi B is incredible, and this case is pretty wild. Basically, what is being alleged in this case is that Cardi B assaulted a security guard. It's alleged that Cardi B assaulted the security guard, and you hear both stories throughout the case. The security guard's story is that she was at work, securing the building. And then Cardi B walks in, and then she's like, "Oh, Cardi B." And Cardi B didn't seem to like that she was approached, that Cardi B was like, "What are you doing right now? Why are you in my face?" And that Cardi B got nasty with her very quickly. And so they were in the elevator together, and she said that she followed Cardi B out of the elevator to clear up any confusion. I don't know if it was to apologize or anything, but she admits that she did follow Cardi B into the elevator and out of the elevator. And then she said Cardi B really lost it and started cursing at her and everything, and then started swinging on her and stuff, and that she got a little nick on her cheek from Cardi B scratching her face, right? And then the receptionist and the doctor that Cardi B was there to see, because Cardi B was in the building for a doctor's appointment, that they broke up the fight, and then everybody went about their way. But because of this assault, because of this nick on her face, she is suing Cardi B for about $24 million. I'll tell you right now, for $24 million, Cardi B could cut up my whole leg, okay? If Cardi B chopped up my leg and gave it back to me in a bucket, I would be like, "You'll be hearing from my lawyer." $24 million. That's crazy. So then, Cardi B's account of things is that she was going to the doctor. At the time, she was pregnant. She didn't want anybody to know she was pregnant. She didn't tell anybody, and she didn't even tell her security guard where she was going that day, her personal security, because she was just trying to keep this whole thing private, right? And even the doctor's office had blocked out time just to make sure they didn't have other clients coming in back and forth, and Cardi B was going to be the last appointment of the day, right? So Cardi B shows up to the building, and then immediately she hears Cardi B, and so already that's not ideal, right? Like that could happen at any time. Cardi B is very famous, but then she is getting in the elevator, and then she notices the person who screamed Cardi B got in the elevator with her and has a phone in her face, and so she goes, "What are you doing? Aren't you security?" Because she had security on her. And then she's talking to her while she's in the elevator, and then she exits the elevator, and she said she can still feel this person behind her. So then she turns around, she's like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you